slide back a little.
Because there's so many of you. Because there's so many of you. If you've asked a question, let someone else ask one before you ask again.
All right. Any extra chairs, or are we good?
We'll be good.
Okay.
What's it like playing a romantic version of Batman?
I don't look at it that way. I'm playing a version of Batman who's a father that's been established and the son of Batman, and then that's sort of evolved over Batman versus Robin, Batman, Bad Blood. And we sort of carried it through Justice League versus the Teen Titans, and all the other Justice League titles and the Superman titles. And so now we have a situation where that same version of the character, while in a state of extremis, falls for someone, you know, and he's completely taken off guard by it. In a way, the timing couldn't be worse, you know. And so I feel pretty strongly that for the first time since I started playing the character, that the lines between Bruce, Wayne, and Batman are really getting blurred here. Because really now, how do you define it? Is he Batman when he has the cowl on, and Bruce when he doesn't? But he's also a father, and he's now a lover. You can't really be yourself when you're trying to be someone else. So I feel like the line between them is being blurred here, and I find that really exciting, because I think it's defining and makes this version of the character kind of unique.
Up to the green room.
Okay, so I was wondering, since what was your preparation for bringing this version of Batman to this film as opposed to previous versions?
Do you mean previous versions that I've done?
Yes. Because I know that I'd imagine the character has kind of changed and evolved over time with the stories. Correct?
It's changed and evolved naturally. Like it's not like, oh, I'm doing Batman Hush, so he's going to be different. It's evolved naturally throughout. That's what I'm trying to say. Throughout, this is now the 10th film in this series, and it's almost like 22 hours of television. Like it's like a full season of ups and downs, and it continues the story in a very strong way. So the fact that, you know, obviously some changes had to be made to sort of retrofit Batman Hush to fit into this continuity, while also remaining faithful to the principles and the themes of the story. So I didn't have to do any special preparation. I was already a fan of the comic book, and honestly, I was just waiting for them to announced that they were going to do Batman Hush with someone else in some other version of the universe, and then when they said they were going to do it with this one, I was doing backflips for joy. I really was. And even when I was recording the film, I kept thinking of this day, this moment, before going to Ballroom 20 and watching it play to 4,250 people, and it just gives me such a rush to hear them laugh and cheer and clap. And I'm not particularly fond of the sound of my own voice. That part is a bit cringy, but I do love watching them react and have fun. And so it's almost like this time it's personal for Batman, and this time it's personal for me too.
Do you feel like this is one of the most, if not the most personal Batman story you've ever been a part of?
Yes, but I feel like we've earned it. Like, it's not like we've gone from a version of Batman where he's just like, he's Batman and he's out there and he's solving crime and kicking ass, and then all of a sudden he's Bruce Wayne and he's talking to Alfred, and this Batman has always had this sort of internal struggle, and he's always struggled with holding his emotions together. He's struggled with his own demons, his own unique backstory. Don't forget, he was manipulated in a particularly grotesque way by Talia that hasn't happened in any other Batman continuity. So he carries that with him, and he's also trying to be the best father he can. So, it's. I feel like Joe Stead's Batman Hush was era-defining as a graphic novel for its time. Batman issues, the 12 issues, just instant classics 15 years ago. I feel that this is continuity defining for this particular series, and there's a group of Batman fans who have grown up watching these movies now, which is very rewarding. All I heard was Kevin Conroy for the last like 7 years. Kevin Conroy is amazing. I'm a huge fan as well. But there's now a generation of kids who've grown up watching these movies in particular, and that's I must say that's really rewarding.
Was it interesting seeing like Batman's relationship with Damian kind of evolve to where it's at a good point now, and now, like you said, his relationship with women, you go from Talia, now he's with Selena, so how was that kind of seeing that progression for his character up to now?
Well, he's with Selena, but will he, won't he? It's not like exactly like.
But it's still a 180 though from Talia.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's absolutely been part of it, and I think how he's every single episode. It's almost like you want to call them episodes in these movies. We've had some progression and some evolution of Batman and Bruce Wayne, and according to my theory, they've started to sort of meld, and so it's that's why I feel this is earned. Like it's not like Batman Hush has come out of nowhere. It's like. It almost feels like this is kind of the next logical step, the next right episode for this particular universe.
What's it like to have this come out when Batman turns 80?
Well, it's serendipity. I mean, you couldn't plan it better. Also, like, I suppose in a way I've been unfortunate in that I've never had a Batman standalone title at San Diego Comic-Con. This is my first one, even though it's my 10th. So it's just the way the scheduling, release dates work out. And so that in itself is a thrill. Look, I think we are all servants to the character. Whether you're playing it in live action or voice acting, or whether you're drawing a frame or a cell, you have to serve the character. The character was around long before I was born and will be around long after I'm gone, and you just try to leave the character in a better place than you found it and serve it as best you can and move on, And so it's always an honor and a privilege whenever I get a chance to do it, and particularly so in this case. I'm very, very proud of this movie.
What do you personally do to get into character to play Batman or Bruce Wayne?
Honestly, I don't. It requires warming up. It requires spending some time in front of the mic, reading the first few scenes. I call it finding my, dropping in, finding my sweet spot, my sweet zone, and just trying to find that place in my vocal range where it's starting to come alive, where it starts to sound like what I think when I read a Batman comic book, So that's all I can really bring to it, and I can also bring my own experience as a human being, but that's a natural actor's process anyway. I'm a dad as well in real life, not to a ninja assassin, but he has his moments. Just bring all of that and try to make it as truthful as possible. But no, I don't have like a ritual or any weird. And also, I mean, it's not just me up there. I work with really good voice directors. Wes Gleason on this is a terrific voice director. Earlier on, it was Andrea Romano who helped me to become Batman through Justice League War and a couple others in those early days. So yeah, I give a lot of credit to these guys, and James Tucker in particular as a producer. I've really enjoyed working with him. He's got a real instinct for the character. And we're all aware that we want to try to make this version of the character stand out. Like there's so many versions, and they're all great. But it's like you got to carve your own turf out somewhere. I feel like we've done that in a sort of a natural way without forcing it too much.
And if you could play any other character in the DC universe aside from Batman that you haven't played before, what would it be and why?
I've always thought Joker because I just love how unhinged he is, and I don't know. I just every time it just feels like Batman when he's on the screen, or when he's in the book. Like it's Batman. It's almost like he's the villain that defines the hero, So I think I probably love him for that reason. But I do have this weird, dirty secret. Okay. This has got nothing to do with Batman, guys. But when I was a child, no. No, I do have this dirty secret that like one of my favorite Riddlers of all time is Jim Carrey in Batman Forever. Like,
He
I
was,
think he's
he was good.
I think he's amazing. A man of many voices, like crazy, like you believe he was like that. That movie goes a little nuts so towards the end, but I think he's like a brilliant villain, and I saw that movie many times, mostly because of him.
Yeah.
The Riddler's great too, and Geoffrey Arend as the Riddler is spot on.
Can't wait to see it.
So because this is a saga, where would you like your Batman to end?
I think there's some unanswered questions about his relationship with Damian. I think that's got to come full circle somehow. I think that's always been, as I keep banging on, that's kind of, integral to this run. And I think something has to happen with maybe with the Justice League, with some of those relationships. Although I do feel like Batman and Superman got a lot of mileage out of those Superman movies that just came out. Death of Superman and Reign of Superman. So I think it's more personal for him. I think it all boils down to Damian. And I don't know if that's something that'll ever be resolved, whether it'll be sooner, later, how long this is going to go on for. I'm certainly going to write it for as long as they ask me. But this does feel like a high water mark, Batman Hush, for this continuity. So I'm just going to try not to think about the future. I'm just trying to enjoy this for what it is. We good?
Anybody else?
No?
Favorite voice actor? Anybody you admire, look up to?
Well, I mean, I already mentioned Kevin Conroy. He's
Not necessarily Batman.
really good. Yeah, not necessarily Batman, but he's still good. Even then, oh gosh. I think Mark Hamill does a great job as the Joker. I know, I'm trying to think of non-Batman related voices. Oh gosh, I do love like some of the Toy Story voices. Amazing. Toy Story is just incredible. I think I love it when particularly. I mean, I love comedy, even though I don't get a chance to do much of it. But I do love it when there's something so honest about comic actors when they stand in front of the mic, and I love that. So like, I just love all kinds of voice acting and animation, and when it works, it works. So no, I can't think of anyone right now. Of course, I'll walk out again. I'll think of 10.
Did you enjoy there was in Justice League Dark, Batman had like some moments where it was like unintentionally funny, but he was just doing stuff like the Ghost or like, oh yeah, you're coming next, and he's like, boo, and they're like, oh, like. So did you kind of enjoy like Batman's dynamic with that whole group in that movie?
Oh, totally. I mean, I took one look at that script and I thought, this is a fantastic opportunity to show sort of the lighter side of Batman, because he's essentially the eyes and ears of the audience, and he's skeptical about all of this like dark supernatural stuff. It all seems like just mumbo jumbo to him, but you have to be sort of skeptical and then be brought into this and then realize that it is happening. It is real. So it's that was a lot of fun to do. That was a lot of fun, and I think if you include Justice League Dark with the other films he's done, we've got a really nice cross section of Batman, and I just feel very, very honored to be able to have played him for this long over such a large arc. Long may it last. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.